Don from the Nearly Historical Railroad channel, and we're at the train room. The actual train layout is here. I'm with it. This is cool. So, we're gonna do some stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, so Kenosha Pass, we're gonna do some stuff up there. We're also gonna talk about Romley, and I go back to the beginning of kind of when we started shooting video for this channel, St. Elmo, Romley area. So I got some thoughts over there, and well, we'll get to that in a little bit. So, okay. Yeah, here we go. All right. So my dad is here. He's doing a little bit of cleaning up over at Cimarron. He laid dirt down, and you know, there was an area he didn't like, so took it out. Redoing that part. So, that's that. All right, this is Como. This is Kenosha grade. That's a big access hole that's not normally there on planet Earth. Hopefully not. And up there is Kenosha Pass. We've done stuff on it before, not too long ago in the videos. But so anyways, in real life, that's in Colorado. It's really pretty up there, a bunch of aspen trees. And there used to be an actual Y up there with like 3 sidings. So I'm actually doing one siding. There was a little, I don't know what it's called, a depot, flag stop, some place to stop and get off the train. So we're gonna be putting that in there at some point. There was 2 turnouts we needed to get in. The last one was going into that main line. I got that cut in, got ties glued down last time. So I'm gonna try and get those 2 turnouts connected. And then I will have a problem. But what's cool is I know about the problem ahead of time. It's gonna be an electrical problem. So let me show you this piece of paper. Hold on. Alrighty, so piece of paper. Look, I've already resolved the issue. So not a reverse loop, but it's gonna be a Y. So we have to have an auto reversing thing. And let me show you a closer up picture of this. Okay, we're closer up now. So here's this picture I drew on a computer. I used Photoshop, you could use whatever. So I just basically drew, it's hard to see, but just a black line of what the track is. Just black lines where the track are. And then to figure out the electrical part of this, I drew one rail in one color, we'll say one polarity, in one color, and then one in the other color. So normally, you know, this is red, and then this outside rail is blue. So, and I have 2 instances of it, but I drew one flipped opposite, and I drew in here like where the brakes I think need to be, and what is actually gonna be the parts that are gonna flip polarity on the reversing circuit. So I've already kind of figured this out ahead of time, knew it was gonna be an issue. So now, once I get these turnouts in, I really kind of just need to figure out exactly, kind of physically where these brakes are actually going to go. One of them is maybe not ideal, but it'll still work. The other ones are fine. So it's kind of an interesting thing. This turnout here will actually kind of flip automatically. If you're coming in this way, it will correct it so you'll go right in. If you're coming this way, it will correct it and you'll go right in that way. So that's kind of cool. So I recommend doing this out. If things start getting complicated, just draw it out. In this thing, I've drawn the 2 different scenarios. It can go this way or it can go that way. So that's that. I don't know. Let's go look at the turnouts. Oh, check this out. Not that, this cardboard. Some of you might recognize this if you've been watching the channel for a while. This is a template for the Romley area. I had it at my house because I wanted to lay out buildings and see where they go. But I think it's changed, and I'll show you why in a minute, or after some time in this video. So I brought this back to see if it actually still fits, because I think it doesn't, so I might need to adjust it. All right, so still going over here. So, right, I solved this kind of electrical challenge quite a while ago, and I just stuck it on the wall here in the general area where we need it. So these back line here is these over here. That's that. There's those 2 turnouts there. That's what we're gonna be working on, there and there. And that is that turnout and that turnout. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to climb into our little access hole, stand up on a stool. Not great for the back, but I can access stuff. So probably gonna file down the ties a little bit, get that nice and smooth, see about getting the turnouts in. Ooh, gotta remember to drill the holes for the tortoises. Okay. What are you putting in there?
Little plastic wood to fill in the gap that had nothing underneath the roadway there. And a shoulder for the road.
There's the turnout we want to try to put in. One of the challenges is this curve up here, slightly super elevated, coming off the turnout. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so, okay, so I've been working on that for longer than expected. I should expect that by now. But I'm going to turn the power on and see if there's any power there. May or may not be. Try a locomotive on it, see what happens. That super elevated curve make things a little challenging. I'll show you real quick what I've done at this point. We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is almost embarrassing, but so I've put these little ties in there as shims, because again, this part is at an angle going down, super elevated. This up here is pretty much level. So I've kind of shimmed this rail up a little bit. I filed this rail down a little bit, and I put this big old ugly guardrail in here. And that seems like maybe it's gonna make it all work. So let's see if we got power. Give me a test light. Actually have power all the way through, just not on the frog, which is to be expected. First time through, maybe. Sure what to think. Went through that part coming into the turnout, had trouble on the turnout. Cleaning the wheels. Runs better now. So we did some testing. So this locomotive went through this direction fine, forward and backwards. This locomotive went, well, the other direction, forward and backwards, but it's not going through this direction down that way. So I think I need to move a rail over on the turnout. A lot of times they need a little fine tuning, a little adjustment, especially when it's got a little bit of oddness to it. That requires a soldering iron, but it's getting late. I don't feel like heating up soldering iron, doing that. So, well, that's it. That's as far as we got on that. So, whatever. Let's go check out Romley real quick. Okay, so I'm, well, right here is the door, the main door that you come into the whole train room building. And you come into this little area. This can be our intermodal yard. It's a little bit of a mess right now. So I was talking about Romley, and the reason why is because if I ever get that Kenosha Pass stuff working, I want to try to kind of shift into scenery stuff, especially now that it's summer. And I'm thinking of trying to get back to Romley. That's my thought at the moment. Because when you come in from this door behind me, you come in and this is your view. And yeah, so that's like the first impression of the layout. And you're like, oh, okay. But then you see all this and it's like, oh, that's cool. So it'd be nice to kind of get this going. And yep, I've kind of explained this before. I was gonna build the town of Romley. Looks, you know, kind of like this. So and that is gonna be here. I actually have a different piece of wood that's gonna go in here. I need to build like 4 or 5 turnouts on there. That's fine, but the town, the buildings are gonna go down this way into here. So kind of from the mountain coming down over here. Here's one of the buildings, another building. So it's gonna come down, but my limit on space, let me get this on a tripod. All right, right, so town's kind of gonna be here and kind of work its way down this way. And this mainline track right here was kind of my limit of where I could go. And kind of recently we got that in. So a while ago I made this cardboard template. How does it go? I haven't tried this yet tonight. Yep, I knew it. I made this template so that I could see, so I could take this home and kind of figure out where the buildings would fit. But I drew it to where we originally had this track. Okay, yeah, so I cut the template out where we originally had this track. Well, this still is not a good angle. Hold on. Okay, now you can see how it's messed up. It's only because we thought this track was gonna come in like right here on this 30 mark and then go across. Well, once reality showed up and we actually got this in, it came out here further, which is cool because it gives me a little more room for Romley. So that means I need to redo this template. I can't or shouldn't use it for my figure out where to place my buildings for Romley. So this is good. I just wanted to bring this out just to know if it was right or wrong. Now I know it's wrong. So next time I'm out here, I'll probably just add a little bit more cardboard on here, make that match, and then go with my previous plan. So that's my thoughts at the moment. Also, this mountain is gonna go down into Romley. I don't like how this comes up right here. It's kind of silly. I think I'm gonna flatten this out from this turntable here, kind of flatten that out, and then kind of go up here. But I still need this open back. It's gonna work somehow, but it's cool. If we could get this looking prettier, it's just good. Let me show you a couple other things. Okay, so this is the Como Roundhouse, and I don't know when, a few videos back, my dad had said that he had carved this post out because it was missing a post. He mixed up some hydrocal and carved that out, but it was still a little too fat, a little too tall. So tonight he actually got that trimmed up and got it so it actually fits in there. So we just have to paint it, stain it, make it match, something like that. So that's cool. Our little Como Roundhouse is getting some attention. All right. And here is Cimarron. So my dad worked some more on the station here, the depot. In one of the videos, we may have mentioned that we needed to scoot it back a little bit because this was hitting locomotives, or more rather locomotives were hitting that. So he just added in some wood to add on to it, onto the front of it, which is good because we needed to make this longer anyways, come out that way. Since the siding kind of ends out here, we wanted to make sure you could at least have 2 cars to get on and off. So that's progress in Cimarron. I think he also did a little bit of ballast cleaning and got things working a little bit better. So Cimarron's getting some attention. So I was going to test out the locomotive and use my phone to run it. So I booted up the old computer, the trusty old computer, and the Wi-Fi is not working. So the reason it's not working is because my little wireless router right there. Oh, now you know my password. Huh, now I can get on the internet or anything with it anyways. My little wireless router right there is not working. It seems to keep rebooting. And it just connects the phone to the laptop. That's all it does. You know, I got it from a thrift store for about $4. Spent a half hour trying to find a wall wart that would fit it, the right voltages and all that stuff. And that was like another $1. So it worked for years, but it seems to not be working now. So anyways, have to replace that someday. I'm always cutting my head off, but it's because I'm trying to cut the lights out on the ceiling. If I raise the tripod up higher, it's harder to move it around. So there's always this conflict. So this is Don from the Nearly Historical Railroad. That's my dad, Don. And I think that's it for the night. So, you know, subscribe. We're kind of getting back to normal here a little bit after the craziness of the world. A little bit of normal. So anyway, subscribe, ring the little bell if you want notifications of new videos that come out. Leave some comments, nice ones. And, you know, we'll probably see you next week. All right, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
I see the light coming, and it feels warm on my face, but I can't tell it's gonna burn me down.